Hello besties and explorers. In today's video I am taking you for a 3.5 hour road trip to a town called Francis in the limestone coast of South Australia, which adjoins the Victorian border. It has a population of just over 500 people. Francis began as a government town first surveyed in July 1871. For much of its history, Francis was a railway town on the Mount Gambier railway line, which runs from Wolseley in the north to Mount Gambier in the south. The railway closed on the 12th of April 1995. Now, just in case you can't see the sign on the left-hand side of your screen, I am at the Francis Cemetery. Now, while it's technically not abandoned, at least I don't think it is, it did give off a certain eerie vibe that gives off an eerie vibe too, but nonetheless, I don't know if this shows through the video, but I'm going to walk you through and you can let me know if this particular cemetery has a creepy vibe to it for you or not. Just a little side note here, you'll notice that the trees here are blackened, which is a sign that there has been a bushfire here in the very recent past. Those pine trees are actually native to Australia, and native Australian plants actually rely on forest wildfires to rejuvenate and replenish. So that's just a little side note for you. I don't know if I explain that later on in the video, but yes, I hope you found that bit of tidbit interesting. So these headstones are at the very least 60 years old. The youngest would be 60 years old, so let's have a look at some of them. It's not a huge cemetery, very quaint. This is probably all unmarked here, I imagine. I'm just going to cross here. I'm sorry if I'm stepping on any grave sites. The 6-acre block of land was set aside for burials in 1871 during settlement. The first burial is estimated to have been in 1873 and the last burial took place in 1959. During its humble beginnings, most of the township blocks of land were vacant except for railway cottages. Early burials were believed to be of people in surrounding districts, including Victoria. Much of the documentation relating to the graveyard has been lost. The main burial register was kept at Francis by the person who dug the graves, but had disappeared by 1943. There was a cemetery plan, and it is believed that although it's in poor condition, it was accurate. The broken column on top of headstones is deliberate, and it's a symbol that a young person had been buried there. Someone who had been taken away too early in life. This is the grave of Nellie Marshall, buried in 1915, aged 18 years. The inscription below in the open book is in honour of Nellie's brother, who was killed in action in France during World War I, aged 22 years. Have a look at this now. I've never seen anything like this before in my life. Or, I don't know, has anybody seen anything like this to mark a grave in their life at all? If you have, just write a comment in the comments below. I don't know if this is a way to mark the unmarked graves or if this was maybe a practice used back in the settlement days. I don't know, but I've never seen anything like it. Now here's another structure as well, wooden, and neither of them have headstones. So I'm wondering if it was used by the townspeople or the council to mark out where some of the unmarked graves are. So I'm going to walk around this one. As you can see, very dry around here. Wow, look at this. Looks like they tried to do a restoration here or started to do a restoration. I'm not sure, but I can't imagine that this would have been done on purpose. It is such a shame. Let's have a look to see if we can see any of the writing. No. Okay, who have we got here? We've got Celine. In 1898, several people had complained that sheep and cattle were wandering the graves. A grate and fence was installed in 1901.
This grand old entrance actually never changed. The place was opened in the 1800s. Look at this wooden construction out of a couple of old stumps.
That was probably the original gate.
Yeah, it does. It seems that way. So
This would actually be a good... In 1901, I.C. Brown was appointed ranger, caretaker of Windrill, and curator of this cemetery. Burial fees were 1 guinea, and the grave digger was paid 15 shillings. Today's video is brought to you by Guardian Funerals. Please enjoy this flashback from the 1980s.
On our wedding night, many years ago, a gramophone played my wife's favourite song. Sadly, she's now passed on. But at the funeral, they arranged for an old gramophone to play that song. It made the service very special.
Guardian Funerals. Professional and personal. Guardian Funerals. Gently guiding you through. Guardian Funerals.
And I know this looks empty. If I just zoom, if I just pan across, that looks empty, but you can kind of see the mounds there and there and there. So I have a feeling these are all unmarked graves here. So there's a mound there. There's a mound there. You know, I'm not... Okay. Now these pine trees, these are actually native pines. See, there's more wooden ones. Now, I thought they were just random logs. But again, I don't know if it's some kind of old school thing for burials or if it's just the council's way of showing where some of the unmarked graves were. That is such a shame. And this is the last grave here. That's it. This is Francis Cemetery. And you know, I can feel something in this cemetery. Nothing bad. I can feel lots of peace in this cemetery, actually.